Now, previously, we've already talked about capturing literal matches, right? Expressing literal matches, things like all capital GET, and that gets us all the capitalized words get. And we've also talked about how you can use a range box to specify some collection of singular characters you'd like to capture, or even to capture a range of values as single characters. But most of the time, we're not trying to capture single characters. Yeah, you might do that sometimes, but the vast majority of the time, we want to have much more complex patterns. For example, if I wanted to capture all of the IP addresses in this file, we could talk about the qualities and the attributes of an IP address. For example, an IP address has 4 numeric sections, each section ranging from 0 to 255. But effectively, each of these sections is either 2 digits or 3 digits, or even just 1 digit. So how do we say that? How do we say, I want to find all of the patterns that match 1, 2, or 3 digits separated by dots in the middle 4 times? That's kind of an interesting problem, right? Because now we're trying to find a pattern, but it has to be one that repeats, and it has to repeat sort of a variable number of times. Okay, well, let's start simple. How do we capture just one section of an IP address? If it can be 1, 2, or 3 digits, how do we capture just one section? Let's go over here to the cheat sheet, and we'll find that there is this special operator that allows us to specify a number of repetitions. So in this particular syntax, it says we're looking for the letter A exactly 3 times. In this example, they're looking for the letter A 3, or more times. Notice that the or more part is not specified. It could just be any number of more than 3. And then finally, you have A 3, 6, which means they want to find A between 3 and 6 times in a row. Those boundaries, by the way, are inclusive, so it'll find matches on 3 A's, 4 A's, 5 A's, or 6 A's in a row. All right, so knowing what we know now, how can we say, I want you to find any digit where you have 1, 2, or 3 digits in a row? Pause the video, try that right now. Okay, now that you tried it, how can we do this? Well, we could use a range box, right, to say any digit. But remember, there's a better way to say that. There's a better way to say any digit. If you come over here to our cheat sheet, this \d stands for any number, any digit. So let's be real developers. Let's not use a range of 0 to 9. Instead, let's do any digit. And we want it 1, 2, or 3 times. So how do we do that? We use these curly braces to specify a number of repetitions, and then our minimum number of repetitions, comma, our maximum number of repetitions. Perfect. Now, look, we're matching every segment of the IP address, but we're also matching every segment of the date, and we're also matching 3 of the 4 digits on the year, and the hour, and the minute, and the second, and so on. So we're matching any occurrence of 1, 2, or 3 digits. Warmer, but we could do better. In fact, we must do better. So what does an IP address look like? Well, it's 4 of these sections. That's true, but in between those 4 sections, there are 3 dots. So let's be literal for right now. Let's write out the entire length of the IP address. How do we go about specifying that we want a section of 1 to 3 digits, followed by a dot, followed by a section of 1 to 3 digits, followed by a dot, and then again, and then ending in a section of 1 to 3 digits, but with no dot? How do we specify that? Use what you know. Try it out for yourself really quick. Pause the video and try it. Okay, so I find it's easiest in regex to be very literal at first and then start reducing down using fancier techniques. So let's be very literal. I want to have 1 to 3 digits followed by a dot. Now, when I do that, notice that's not really a dot, is it? In fact, look what it says in the help text. It says matches any character. Remember that the dot is a special character. It's a character with special meaning in regex. How do we say I want to use the character literally, I don't want it to be special? How do we get out of that problem? That's right, we escape it with a backslash. So now that I've escaped the dot, because remember, the dot is a special character, now that I've escaped the dot, I can now just copy that and paste it 2 more times. In fact, I could go 3 more times, but then my matches stop. Why do my matches stop? It's because I no longer have a pattern where we have 1 to 3 digits, dot, 1 to 3 digits, dot, 1 to 3 digits, dot, 1 to 3 digits, and then it expects a dot right here. But no IP address ends in a dot. So let's just take that last dot off. Oh, look at that. Now we have all of our IP addresses, right? So we can use our escape characters, our escape sequences, to specify any digit. We can use our repetition operator to specify how many repetitions we wish. And then we can use our escape characters again to specify dots. And we can do this as many times as we need to specify the exact pattern we're looking for. You'll look over here in the full matches and you'll see we get every IP address in the file, but we don't get things like the dates or the times. This is exactly what we want right now. Now hang on a second. You might be thinking to yourself, wait a minute, if this is repetitious, can't we say that we want this repetition also? Experiment with that for a second. I want you to see if you can reduce the size of this expression. This expression is correct, but there's a shorter way to say this, and we can reduce this down, but I want you to try it first. And I also want you to observe what happens when you do.